The essential things are invisible. Open up your ears. Animals haven't yet revealed the secrets of all the ways they communicate through sound. All around the world, researchers and specialists in bioacoustics are trying to decode the secret languages of animals. Searching for both sound and meaning. Let's plunge with them into the extraordinary universe of the sounds of nature. Talking fish. Sounds like a fairy tale, right? Well, it isn't. Down there under the water, the fish are all communicating through sound. And every day we understand a little more of what they're saying. When night falls on the calm waters of the Mediterranean and the din of the humans is finally silenced, a mysterious symphony starts up.
We've been coming here every summer for 5 years, and all that time I've been dipping my mics here in the water. Most of the noise occurs between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. It just doesn't stop. And the noise I hear in the water is much louder than the sounds outside of it. The problem is that in these past 5 years, we haven't been able to figure out which species produces those sounds. They are very particular sounds. You can hear them just by putting your head underwater without a camera. You'll hear a toad sound like really very particular.
This mysterious sound, the scientists call it the quaqua, is the subject of very serious bioacoustic research. It's in Corsica that Eric Parmentier is leading the investigation at the Starezo Oceanographic Station. He has discovered and highlighted many types of vocalizations in marine animals. But he's still puzzled by the mystery of the quaqua.
What I want to do now is to finally figure out which species is capable of making that sound. So I've got a camera coupled with a hydrophone and a lamp, and I'm hoping the fish will make sounds when the camera is on.
The hydrophone is the basic tool of a marine bioacoustician. It's simply a microphone that can record underwater. The researcher has spotted a site where he hopes finally to capture sound and image of this phantom fish. Life on our planet emerged from the depths of the oceans. It's there that the first life forms appeared. In an environment where visibility was sometimes no more than a few feet, the inhabitants of the seabed communicated through sound. It was an excellent way to find a partner or a prey, or even to build elaborate social relationships. Water facilitates acoustic communication. Sound spreads 5 times faster there than in the air. Some sounds can even be heard for thousands of miles. Jacques Cousteau reckoned that all one heard down here in this astonishing universe was silence, but that's not really the case.
These here are all the quaqwas. That noise in the background, the frying sound you can hear, that's made by shrimp called cauliflower shrimp. And then there's like a drumming sound in the background.
There are 33,000 species of fish, and most of them are very loquacious. They haven't got vocal cords, so they come up with numerous other strategies to make themselves heard.
First of all, there are the sounds we call stridulation, which comes from the rubbing of 2 hard parts of the body against each other. In fish, it could be, for example, grinding their teeth. The teeth are used to catch food and to chew it, but if you grind your teeth with no food there, you'll produce a sound. They can also communicate by using their fins, what we call the pectoral fins, which are the equivalent to our arms. When a fish moves its pectoral fin up and down, it makes a squeaking sound.
Other fish play a kind of wind instrument. They squeeze their swim bladder, an internal air pocket that acts as a stabilizer. By compressing this organ just like a musician would a bagpipe, the fish evacuates small amounts of air. This is how the eel, for example, makes itself heard.
Eels will compress the walls of their body, and the air that was in the swim bladder is expelled via their pneumatic duct. Basically, the eel is burping. And unlike us, the more an eel burps, the more it attracts females. Obviously, that doesn't work very well for us. Clupiidae, such as herrings, don't have their pneumatic ducts connected to the front of the digestive tract, but rather to the back. This means the herrings can squeeze air out behind them as if they were farting. The more they fart, the easier for them to find their buddies, because they mainly make the sound when their shoal has been dispersed and they want to get back together again.
For scientists, the grunt of the grouper, or the vocalizations of the corb, are just a few of the melodies they hear down in the immense sound world of the seabed. Invertebrates like shrimps, crabs, and lobsters also produce sounds. But they don't have the structure to produce the quaqua sound. So who is it then? The octopus knows, but he's not saying. At Calagonon in Sardinia, another scientist is working on the quaqua sound. Lucia Di Iorio is investigating the mysterious sound in collaboration with Eric Parmentier. Through their combined work, they've come up with a hypothesis.
We think we might have an idea who's making it. We reckon it's the scorpion fish. But we're not at all sure. It's really just a hypothesis. So we're at a site where there are scorpion fish, and we're going to try to record them here.
She spotted several individuals in their habitat. So she places her recording device. But unfortunately, after a long wait, the experiment's a failure. The scorpionfish remains silent. The work of a bioacoustician takes self-sacrifice and patience. The enigma of the quaqua remains unsolved. But Lucia Di Iorio's not giving up. Today, she's off out to sea with Paolo Insolera, a renowned free diver who can dive to a depth of more than 40 meters. Free diving has none of the constraints of scuba diving. You're more inconspicuous, and you can go down many more times in a single day. Lucia and Paolo will recover the beacons equipped with hydrophones arranged along the coast that she's been using to record new data from the underwater landscape.
That's it, we're there.
To study a soundscape, Lucia takes into account all the sounds of the sea. Not just those emitted by fish and by the marine biodiversity. She also records the sounds produced by natural elements, such as wind, waves, and ground movements, as well, of course, as sounds produced by man. To listen to the underwater landscape is to listen to a whole ecosystem. The sound environment has a direct impact on the life of species. For example, we know that baby fish and baby crustaceans will avoid places where noise pollution is high. They prefer quiet areas without the slightest human presence. For bioacousticians too, human activity is a real nuisance. During the day, they have trouble getting quality recordings. There's just too much noise from the engines of boats. So they prefer nocturnal recordings. At night, the animal acoustic activity is in full swing. Lucia Di Iorio analyzes her recordings here at the Calagone Aquarium.
These little sounds here, we don't know who's producing them. That's a corb. And there's the grouper. When we study these sounds, we listen to them, but mainly we look at them. At the top, that's the sound wavelength that we recorded, and underneath is the spectrogram. So in the spectrogram, the very colourful part down here, we have the bass sounds, and here at the top, the higher sounds, the time and the colour. So if it's lighter, it shows us the intensity. So the lighter it is, the stronger it is. So shorter, long, long.
The bioacoustician has made a surprising discovery about a species that she thought never spoke. Sea urchins, that are everywhere in coastal areas, wherever there's a rock, are an object of study for Lucia because they too make sounds.
A sea urchin, for example. You can see here that it moves. And it's its needles that pull it along. They rub together and the skeleton crackles a little. So it makes a recognizable noise. And above all, it has here what we call a lantern with teeth that open and close. That's it. And when it grazes, it closes its lantern and you hear a little crack. It's eating.
And Lucia Di Iorio has found something even more amazing. She's found that sea urchins, when grazing, don't produce the same chewing sound when they eat either healthy or polluted algae. This is a valuable indicator of water quality. She sees the sea urchin as a kind of sentry of the seabed. Everywhere has its own acoustic signature. The tinkling of a coral reef is not the same as that in the depths off the Mediterranean coast, or that of the murky waters of a mangrove swamp. Calmly, stealthily, a crocodile stalks its prey. He's a master predator. He watches, smells, but above all, he listens. The linear anatomical layout of his nostrils, eyes, and ears is located just above his waterline, allowing him to know everything that's going on out of the water, hidden away and just waiting to pounce. People think of the crocodiles as dangerous survivors of prehistoric times, when along with the dinosaurs they dominated all other living creatures. We now know that behind the savage beast hides a being that is sensitive to its environment as well as to its fellow crocodiles, with whom it communicates. All species of crocodile emit vocalizations and use a repertoire of sound signals in various different situations. For more than 10 years, Nicolas Matevon and his team have been trying to unravel the mysteries of sound communication in crocodiles. Here, in Agadir, he conducts experiments on Nile crocodiles, and more specifically, on the vocalizations of their babies.
In the life of the crocodile, acoustic communication occurs at different times. In particular, there's the acoustic communication between parents, often the mother, and their young, and between the young ones themselves. The first stage, the first time the little ones use acoustic signals, is when they're hatching. The mothers lay eggs and cover them with sand. Then they keep watch over the nest for 3 months. Then when it's time for them to hatch, the young make little hatching cries, even while they're still buried in the sand. And these hatching cries will prompt the mother to dig to clear the eggs and help the young come out.
Once hatched, the baby crocodiles are about 20 centimeters long. They're easy prey. Their survival depends on the vigilance of their mother and on their ability to alert her in case of danger. And for that, they have an alarm call. It's short and strident, and they make it by contracting really tightly the muscles of their chest. To determine the function of this warning cry, Nicolas Matevon has developed an experiment that tests the mother crocodile's maternal instincts. They record a baby's alarm call, then play it through a loudspeaker. The response of the mothers isn't long in coming, and it's always the same. They show their teeth. They hear the cries as calls for help. The females react by trying to eliminate the potential danger.
All the females who laid eggs this summer have come because they all react quickly to the little ones' cries. So this is clearly a rescue reaction. They come to the help of the young ones calling to them.
Crocodiles vocalize a lot less once they're adult. They growl during courtship displays or to defend their territory. The sounds they make can carry for over a kilometer. Of all the reptiles, the crocodile family is by far the one with the most extensive repertoire, which brings them closer to the birds with whom they share a common prehistoric ancestor, the dinosaurs. Nicolas Matevon and his colleagues have learnt to imitate the baby crocodile's warning cry. Even at night, the mother crocodiles stay on guard. Bioacoustics solves some of the mysteries of animal communication. It's a new tool that scientists trying to understand and to protect animals now have at their disposal. South Africa is the El Dorado of researchers working on marine mammals. In these waters, large numbers of species of dolphins, whales, and sea lions all rub shoulders. The reason is simple. South Africa is at the intersection of 3 oceans. Some species arrive from the cold waters of Antarctica, some from the warm waters of the Indian Ocean, and others from the Atlantic. This makes it a place of incredible marine biodiversity.
There's a blowout there, guys. They're on the south of us, about 2 kilometers out.
The scientific literature on cetaceans in this geographical area is very rich, except in one area: bioacoustics. Simon Elwin is the founder of a bioacoustics project on the dolphins and whales that live off the coast of Cape Town. He's created a structure for this, the Namibian Dolphin Project. From recordings, they'll be able to determine the animals' movements and their behavior, to carry out an underwater mapping of the area. The researchers have laid devices along the coast at a depth of 10 meters. They can record 24 hours a day for many days. Thanks to them, Simon and his team have made a lot of discoveries. In particular, that dolphins adapt their vocalizations according to their environment and their emotions. When they're excited, their sounds are higher pitched and they speed up, just like humans. When they're surrounded by boats, they speak louder and change their emission frequencies so as not to be bothered by the sound pollution. Simon Elwin's team is working on the vocal signature of humpback dolphins. Each dolphin has a type of whistle that distinguishes it from the other dolphins. This signature is rather like a first name. It allows them to recognize their friends and their rivals. If they want to call a friend, they can imitate his or her signature. It's only dolphins and humans that seem to have this ability. There are about 100 of these humpback dolphins. Simon has already identified 60 of them. But a new tool currently in testing should make it very much easier. Matthias Hoffmann-Kuhnt, a bioacoustics researcher at the University of Singapore, has invented a revolutionary camera.
So what we have here is basically a system that has a video camera, and then the most important part are the 3 hydrophones here up front that record the sound that we then synchronize with the video that we record on the inside. What is neat about the system is that you can link that particular signature whistle that you've recorded and you know occurs to a specific individual, saying, that's the one that produces this whistle. Yeah, so it's neat.
It's not simply a camera. It's an onboard computer capable of accurately identifying any sound source. It provides valuable information to analyze an individual's movements and behavior. This 3-dimensional sound recording system also works for whales.
There is a blow there, man. That's what I'm saying.
The best way to identify cetaceans is to listen to them. There's no point trying to count them with just visual observation because they spend most of their time under the water. Some of them descend to more than 100 meters to communicate with their fellow whales, who can sometimes be hundreds of kilometers away. So a whale will look for different layers of water of different temperature and pressure. These veritable acoustic corridors propagate sound waves by bouncing them off the limits of the water layer, like an acoustic mirror that returns the sound as an echo. All the noise humans make disrupts the communications of cetaceans. And that can be detrimental to both their reproduction and their collaborative work of searching for food. Noise pollution poses other perils to large marine mammals. Every year, dozens of them run aground on coastlines all over the world. Often they're stranded because of the high-frequency sonars used for military or mining activities. Those radars are capable of emitting sounds at more than 240 decibels. It's a sound level that can be deadly. Human activities are proving to be one of the main menaces to marine mammals. Bioacousticians have been working to delineate rest and feeding areas for cetaceans, and these areas have recently been closed to all navigation. It's a big step towards the preservation of these species. Still in South Africa, and not far from Cape Town, Greg Hofmeyer is the great specialist in the preservation of the Cape sea lions.
Jake, how's it going? Absolutely, yeah. Looks like we've got good weather for it.
Today he's going out to sea to observe, count and register a community of them off Port Elizabeth. Since the dawn of time, Black Rock has been home to a community of more than 5,000 sea lions. Between mid-October and early January, it's breeding season. Between 400 and 800 baby sea lions will be born. Their survival in this difficult environment is linked to, among other things, sound communication. It may just seem like a lot of din, but many types of communication are going on here. One of the most characteristic sounds is the call of the baby sea lions. It sounds very like a goat or a sheep.
So if you listen behind me, you can hear the pups calling. So a pup goes something like, "Arr, arr," and it's calling to its mother. It's trying to find which is its mother. And the mother will then respond with her call. And she will give a call similar to, "Oh, oh," like you can hear there, "Oh," and then the mother pup will respond. So they will find each other.
From their rock, the males defend their territory by vocalizing. But what's going on under the water? With the aid of a hydrophone, Greg Hoffmeyer listens to and records the underwater sounds of the sea lions.
Okay, I can hear the noise of the ocean and a few bubbles, but in the background I can hear oh, there we go. I can just hear the seal territorial call underwater. So, no, it's gone again.
This sound's obviously from young males. They don't yet have a place up on the rock, so they compensate by creating an underwater territory. Greg's conservation work often involves recovering sick or injured animals. But during the breeding season, the biggest danger is to the baby sea lions. If the newborn fall into the water, they have very little chance of getting back on the rock and get swept away by the waves. Thanks to their natural buoyancy, they can drift over very long distances. Sometimes they manage to reach the mainland. That's what's happened to Abby, a baby sea lion that Greg and his team are taking care of. Here at the Bay World Oceanographic Center in Port Elizabeth, many marine animals are cared for and fed before being reintroduced into their natural environment.
Abby came from Woody Cape on the South African coast. That's very close to black rocks. At some stage, she must have fallen off of black rocks and washed away from black rocks. She ended up washing all the way 20 kilometers by sea to the mainland. So she's come to the rehabilitation center to be rehabilitated. There you go, Abby.
Pampered like a baby, Abby will stay here for 11 months before being weaned. Iggy is a young male who's soon to be freed. As with other sea lions in the center, his carers like to try and communicate with him.
Hello, Iggy.
Their work in bioacoustics has enabled Greg and his team to identify 6 specific vocalizations. They're clearly defined. There's a territorial defense sound, a response to aggression, a submission, a contact call, the call of the mother, the response of the baby.
Abby, come sweetheart. Come on. Wrong way, this way.
Sound communication between individuals of the same species is an acquired ability. But recent discoveries go further. They reveal the ability of some wild animals to understand a language foreign to their own. Beyond the polar circle, in the Norwegian archipelagos, humpback whales, orcas, and other marine mammals breed and feed. Every year in October, when the cetaceans converge on their feeding areas, a multidisciplinary team of scientists arrives. They're part of a mission to preserve cetaceans, and in particular, to study the impact of human noise pollution on large marine mammals. Not far from the small port of Tromsø, the team is preparing its next outings to sea.
We just need to check that when we take it out, it's like super announced.
Charlotte Curé, a French bioacoustician, conducts experiments here on the sound interactions between orcas and humpback whales. Here in these waters, the scientists are watching a territorial struggle between the two species. Orcas, reputed to be the super predators of the seas, will readily devour the whales. But what brings these two mammals together is their mode of communication that is among the most elaborate in the animal kingdom. Their sounds contribute both to the structuring of the group and to the cultural transmission between mothers and their young. They also have family, clan, or geographical sound signatures. But Charlotte Curé has observed some disturbing phenomena here in the far north. She has seen whales reacting to some of the behavioral sounds emitted by the orcas. Charlotte Curé starts her experiment by recording a group of orcas feeding on herring. The orcas use these vocalizations to invite their fellow orcas to come and share the abundance of food. Once she's recorded the sounds, Charlotte will broadcast them using an underwater loudspeaker placed near humpback whales, equipped with GPS beacons that allow her to know their position at any time. Will they react to this call that is not intended for them?
Are you ready? Yeah. Okay, on va commencer le playback. 3, 2, 1, go!
Thanks to the GPS beacons, tracking the trajectory of the whales can begin.
Right now, you're over on them. No. Wait.
Okay, 570 the boat.
570?
Yeah.
Meters.
So that's it. The sound we're broadcasting is attracting the whale. The whale has a beacon and they come here because for them, that means it's a feeding spot. It's great to have this kind of response. It's amazing. So not only will we have all the data recorded on the tag, but in addition, we notice that they come here, a few meters from the boat. They're attracted to what we're playing right now. It's just amazing and awesome. It's looking for food because it's being led to believe there's food here. So it's really beautiful. It's just incredible. With the beacon, we'll be able to see that it's changed direction to come towards us, towards the sound source, and we'll be able to see it very well when we analyse the data.
The whale has understood the message from the orcas that there's herring here.
And that's it. Done. I'll save it all and disconnect. And turn it off. Done.
The experiment is a complete success. Charlotte's team continues its work by setting up new beacons to keep a close eye on the movements of these giants of the seas. A few thousand kilometers further south, a mystery is being solved. A few months after his last mission to Starezo in Corsica, in his laboratory at the University of Liège, Eric Parmentier will resolve the enigma of the ghostfish, the mysterious quaqua. In their 5 years of research, Eric Parmentier and his colleague Lucia Diorio have kept on recording, collecting clues and cross-checking results. They'll now be able to add one more species to the great repertoire of underwater talkers. The quaqua, the mysterious soloist of the Mediterranean acoustic landscape, has finally been identified.
There. There.
The scorpionfish has at last spoken. Eric has caught it here, talking to a neighbor. After many fruitless experiments in the aquarium, the scientists have finally managed to record them. When they placed 2 male scorpionfish in a plexiglass trap out at sea, the miracle finally happened. In front of the camera and recorded by a hydrophone, one of the 2 males, to defend his territory, began to make the characteristic sound. An experiment in the fish's own natural environment turned out to be the solution. Thanks to the tools of bioacoustics and the patience of the scientists, the mystery of the ghostfish has finally been solved. With all their discoveries, bioacousticians are changing the way we listen to nature. For the past few decades, their research has been helping to both understand and protect an environment weakened by human activity. The marine world still holds many mysteries. We're only just beginning to understand this world full of sounds.